Hi guys, let's put together some cards. I've been gone for a little bit. Um, you know, just when I think things are going to calm down a little bit, they don't. Life. The good news is my mom is moving back closer to me, so that's fantastic. That's part of the reason why I've been gone. Yeah. Let's put together what I have here. 4 cards. I have everything pre-prepped and ready. The reason I'm putting these 4 cards together is for a campaign called Love Shouldn't Hurt. I'm sending my cards to Tracy of Gift Basket Appeal, and it's her brother-in-law, the Quilting Marine, who is doing this campaign. He and some of his subscribers are making quilts for women and children of domestic violence that are in shelters, and they'd like to include a card with it. So I've been making cards last couple of days. So we're going to put these guys together real quick. Let's see. Let's do that one in just a little bit. We'll start with, they're pretty easy. I just cut standard A2 size card bases. This one's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to run it landscape or horizontal. I have one mat that goes on the outside, and I've cut it at 4 by 5 1/4. I just stamped out a bunch of sentiments that I have that I felt like would be appropriate, and then I used scraps to mat it. This is one of my favorite sentiments that I've gotten. It's in a stamp set. I can't remember who made it because I didn't write it down. But I know I bought it at Hobby Lobby, and I know it's still available. So I would just say check there if you're interested. It is, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and loved more than you know. And I think all but one sentence of this, and maybe even that one too. My son's favorite movie when he was a little boy was Winnie the Pooh's Big Adventure. And we even had the book with the little cassette that had all the songs. And because I had to take him, I'm going to start putting this together. Because I had to take him to see his biological father every other weekend, and it was not good for him. He would cry. He would beg me not to go. It was just always an ordeal, and I was told by the courts because I didn't take him. I'm not going to traumatize my child. I'm not doing it. His dad is obviously not a good man. We established that during my divorce and all of the things that had gone on. So I just decided I'm not taking him. I'm not putting him through this. This is nonsense. Well, I got hauled into court with the threat of contempt of court, and the judge made it very plain to me that they would not be negotiating in any way, shape, or form, and that I would simply go to jail and my ex-husband would get our son. That was not an option. So I had a long talk with my son, and every time he had to go see his dad, I had a prepaid cell phone that he could call me from anytime he wanted to. And needless to say, we spent most of the weekend on the phone every other weekend. And I'm okay with it. His dad wasn't, but I am. Because I know all the time that he was on the phone with me, he was not being talked to in an ugly way or not dealing with any mental and emotional abuse. And I let his dad know that much. Because, you're not going to talk to him this way and think it's okay, because it's not. And I did address it in the courts, and his dad did have to have mandated counseling and, nonsense. At any rate, that was his favorite movie. I told you a really long story to tell you really kind of a short story. That was his favorite movie. And there is a line in there where Christopher Robin is telling Winnie the Pooh that he has to go away to school. And Winnie the Pooh is basically, the gist of it is, well, what am I going to do without you? And then Christopher Robin tells him that he's braver than he believes, he's stronger than he seems, smarter than he thinks. So I definitely remember those 3 lines in that movie. But I cannot remember if that other one's in there. I'm going to have to watch that movie now and see if we'll pay attention when it comes up, because I know it's in the movie. Anyway, that was the gist of my story that I got too long and in depth on. Too long-winded. I am not going to put a sentiment on the inside of these cards, and I'm not going to do a whole bunch of mats on the inside of these cards, because I'm making multiple cards, and I'm trying to get them done before they're done with this campaign. I don't know when it ends. Tracy would probably, well, if she didn't have the information on it, she could very easily get it, and she's such a sweetheart, she would get it. So, let's see, what else been going on? Helping my husband deal with man-children. I have never seen so many grown men act like teenage girls in all of my life. My husband's baffled by it too. So that one's done. Next, this one is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. It's a top fold card. And this is just a paper. It's cut 4 by 5 1/2, or 4 by 5 1/4. It's not cardstock. And it came in a big package of, it was a seasonal 8 1/2 by 11. And if I'd quit making these big clumps of it, it would probably be helpful. Pad of all season, 8 1/2 by 11 pad of all season papers. And when I got it, I really didn't know better. I didn't know that I wouldn't like thin paper. I didn't figure that out until later on. This one says, "You're like a diamond, resilient, strong, and beautiful." And I don't remember where that stamp came from. I've had it a long time. So, and that would be one thing that I would say to people who are just starting out in card making is, yes, there are a lot of papers that are, like copy paper feel, that are cute, but they don't have any body to them because they're just a thin paper. So I would say, if you wanted to try it, see if you could find a smaller pack or something like that, because it's been all this time, and I still have most of that pad of paper left that I don't like and don't reach for. But in fairness, I have a lot of paper, and my goal is to get through the majority of said paper before I buy any more. Because, I'll buy the occasional stamp set, but it's foolish that I have all of this paper, and it's just, in cardstock, and it's just not getting used like it should be, because, I don't know why. I don't have an excuse for that. I bought these little guys at Tuesday Morning, a couple of years ago, and I think they're just adorable. I'm going to use this one on this card, and then I'm going to use this one on this other card that we're going to make here in just a second. But I think these are a load of fun. Now, they are extremely dimensional. I don't even know where that came from. So, this is something you probably are not going to want to mail. If you did, you would want to put it in a box, because this has 2 layers of foam. I put dimension in between here and in between the teal and the striped paper, and this is still twice the height, but I like it, so because it's all going in a box, I'm using them. That's something else I'm trying to make sure that I use is I had bought a ton of embellishments like gems, and I've used most of the enamel dots that I purchased. I've used most of those, but I still have a ton of gems and different things like that. I mean, a ton. I need a heart. Let's do a silver one. Yeah. Well, no. Let's do gold because it'll go with that. And we'll put it off center. Alright, that's 2. I need to replace the battery in this camera. This is it's the bottom part of a page in a paper pad that I bought at Target some time back. I don't know if they still have it, but it's in the craft section. That's where I got it from. Well, if I can get it out of here. Come on. What's the deal here? Oh. Good grief. Let go. It's this guy here. And I want to say it was like $7 or $8. So it really wasn't bad price. And I still have most of it left. There's a ton of it in there. This paper cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Like I said, I think I did all of my mats 4 by 5 1/4. Which is really random for me, because I usually do 8s. I usually like the look of it better. And this one's cut 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. There we go. Let's do this one landscape too. And this has 2 layers of foam. I popped the sentiment up on a really thin foam, and then I used the foam squares that I've gotten from Joann Fabric. It is burning up in my house. Or maybe it's me. It's gotta be me, because our air conditioner's on like 76. And it hasn't been hot here at all. We've had a bunch of rain, and it's been cooler. It's really been nice. Now we do have some 90 degrees days coming this week. But up to now, it's been really nice. Peel off all my backs here. And also, you can get this dimensional foam. Well, they're rectangles, the ones that you get from Dollar Tree. They're in the automotive section. Once in a while, you can find some by Jot Brand in the craft section, or sometimes in the school section. So I personally think it's a better bargain to get the super glue ones from the automotive section. To me, it's just a better deal. You get more, it seems, and it's only $1. I think this is the last one. There we go. No, missed one. Now we're talking. All right. And then we got one more to do. And I'll embellish this one in a minute. Let's go ahead and get this one done. It's cut at 5.5 by 8. Yeah, 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4. And then this is another one of the papers from that paper pad I was talking about that had the striped paper. It has some super cute paper. It's just not for me. But I do need to use it, so there's that. Alright. And then I have these, what are these called? Nesting dies. I absolutely love them. Don't use them often enough. But I'm trying to change that too. So, come on. This one I'm going to set off to the side because I'm going to use that other, what's that thing called? Rosette. Words. Me and words. So this one I'm going to put up here. And then I have foam on this. And then these two, this is Wishing You Peace. A simple one. I don't remember where I got it from. But I do wish that. And this, this campaign kind of hit home for me. Like I said, my son's father was not a nice man. Just not nice. And the campaign just hit home for me. I'll show you the other cards I made if I get this done quick enough. I wasn't going to put dimension on this and changed my mind last minute. I'm good about that. This guy. Cute. And then we will use the silver on this one because this is clear. And then I also used gray on that one. So, where do I want to put it? There, maybe? I don't want to put it down at the bottom. That works. Oh, I don't know why I put that up. I need one for this too. I don't know why I feel compelled to make things match. It's silliness. Well, it doesn't completely match, but it will work. And I'm sure most of you have heard about this campaign. Most of you probably followed Tracy. She has put out some of the cutest stamp sets. If you haven't gone and checked it out, please do. And they're good quality photopolymer stamps. Why not? Now I have to have another one. I am so bizarre. Alright, so we just did 4 cards. I'll write my name on the back of those in just a second. We did those 2, and we did these 2, and I've done this one. This one is Change for No One and Believe in Who You Are. This has the same sentiment. It's close to the same, just this one has a single heart, that one has a double. This one is You Are Like a Diamond, Resilient, Strong, and Beautiful. This one says Love and Prayers. I like this sentiment really well too. This one and the Change for No One and Believe in Who You Are comes from the same stamp set as the this one. But this one is what appears to be the end is usually the start of a new beginning. I found that one to be fitting, and I used it on that one. This one is a Love and Prayers. Here's a Wishing You Peace. Another Resilient, Strong, and Beautiful. And another Wishing You Peace. And this one just says Be Awesome. These 2 have the Strong and Beautiful. This one is Peace Be With You. Here's another Be Awesome. There's my favorite sentiment again. And then here's this one. And then finally, there are these 2. And I did not purchase one thing to make all of these. It's everything I already had. It was already in my stash. I hope you all have a great day and a glorious tomorrow. Bye, guys.